Hello out there. My name is Paul T, and this is my very first video log. Alright, so, first of all, why do I want to do a video log, right? And it's because I have accumulated a lot of experience and knowledge, and it is very difficult in this age, and this is the information age, so we have an overabundance of information out there. And unless there is a way to filter that information down, it's very difficult to know what is true and what is not true, especially on the internet where you're watching this. So hopefully over time you will sort of trust in my judgment as a filter for information. I'm going to try to give you good information and things that I've learned, things that I actually even think are common sense, which may not be commonly accepted as true, right? Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. We are not all the same. We are like parts of a body, and each body part has a different function. And so understanding yourself, understanding your strengths, and then throughout life try to play up to those strengths, and in that way find your calling and pursue what you believe is your calling, right? That is your best and highest use, or your best destiny. There was a Chinese philosopher and general by the name of Sun Tzu. And part of this video log series, I plan to do book reviews. I will be reviewing that book. It's called The Art of War by Sun Tzu, written many centuries ago, but a lot of his principles are true today. And that's the thing, is if there are things that are true, they do stand the test of time. And Sun Tzu is one of those authors, one of those thinkers that has stood the test of time. Or the latter half of the quote is, if you know yourself and you know your enemy, you need not fear the result of 1,000 battles, right? So it requires two parts. First, knowing yourself, and then knowing your enemy. And not necessarily enemies, because what he was talking about was the art of war, right? Where there is an enemy that you attack and fight with and try to defeat. But in this, where we find ourselves is in a world that is very hard to understand. So if we spend the time to understand ourselves, we still may not understand the world. Or conversely, if we try to understand the world, but we don't understand ourselves, also we could be in trouble. So both are important, and my part in this is to try to help you understand better the world which we live in. And I'm here to try to act as a filter for information, because that is one of the things that is my strength. It is absorbing lots of information. I read on a daily basis, been doing so since I was in junior high, actually elementary school. Have always been a big reader, and being able to understand what I read. If I don't understand it, to actually go out and do the research. And a lot of research can be done on the internet right now. But I also would urge people to read books. I don't think books will ever go out of vogue, but there are public library systems throughout the United States and the world. But the United States, we have such great resources if we would only use them. But reading books and doing research does take time, and there is a lot of junk out there. A lot of things that are not true, and without experience and judgment and wisdom, it's hard to differentiate what is true and what is not true. But this world is sort of like a big jigsaw puzzle with extra pieces that don't help you solve the problem. And actually, it's like 20% of those pieces are the right pieces for the puzzle, and then 80% of the pieces are like junk, right? They're just lead you down the wrong path. They're just incorrect. And so first of all, you got to figure out which of the 20% of those pieces are the right pieces for the puzzle. And then filter out the 80% that's just junk out there. And then you got to put the pieces together, right? So hopefully I'll be helping to do that with this vlog. And as part of this vlog, I also believe in the power of the internet. We can leverage the internet because before the internet, before about 1997, when Netscape Navigator was made public, the internet wasn't accessible really by most people. It did exist for decades earlier, ARPANET and that kind of thing. But there were no applications for the public, for the mass public. And so it's only been 1997 when it was first introduced, Netscape Navigator, and then of course America Online, and then internet became more a part of our lives, whereas today it's almost indispensable, right? We have the Internet of Things, where the internet is coming to a device near you, and you know, a lot of trends where everything is trending with faster internet speeds, that kind of thing. So it'll be more and more a part of our lives. Yet, with all of that information out there, all of the websites, you know, draws on our time caused by the internet revolution, it's hard still to, it may even become more difficult to filter out the noise, to filter out the false jigsaw puzzle pieces, right? To get down to what is actually true. And but we do have tremendous resources. We have the ability to search online, and if there are trusted sites like Wikipedia, which is great, you can find a lot of information at your fingertips instead of having to go to an encyclopedia, which I don't think they make anymore, or the library. And then even getting to the library or even a bookstore, right? It's hit or miss whether you can find the actual book. You don't even know, well, before the internet, you didn't even know that that book existed, right? But now, with Amazon.com, we can research pretty much the universe of books. I mean, it's not the Library of Congress, but we could pretty much find a book that relates to the topic that you want to research. So that's great. And the final point I want to make in this introductory video log is that I do believe in objective reality. What that means is, you know, in juxtaposition to subjective reality, where what you believe is reality, right? Because a lot of times we believe certain things to be true, which may not be true. If you have false beliefs and you build on those false beliefs, then you end up with a structure at the end that mimics reality, but it is a distortion, a bad distortion of reality. But anyway, I do believe that there is an objective reality, and we need to discover that objective reality. Science is a good example. We have some theories as to why things work the way they do. So I do believe that there is an objective reality. Hopefully, I will be able to present a viewpoint which gets us closer to what is true and what is not true. Okay? A lot of it still is based on my own opinions and judgment, of course. But hopefully I will demonstrate that I have good judgment and good reasoning, and hopefully you will benefit from it. Thank you.